What's the deal? What's the deal? What's the deal, people? It's your boy, the one and only, your host that do the most, Mr. Viral himself, aka the villain, because they hate me for my opinion. Coming at y'all live and direct with a new album review. Mozzy just dropped some heat. Mozzy just dropped a new album. Shout out to Mozzy, M-O-Z-Z-Y. He's back. He done just dropped a new album. Y'all can go stream that, go run that up. I just been listening to that on the way to the studio. The name of the album is Brash Dummies. Yes, Brash Dummies. You know, like Crash Dummy, but he's a blood, so they replaced the C with the B. Brash Dummies. But yeah, Mozzy he's back. He dropped. He been quiet, not due to not by choice. You know, he was in jail. He got locked up. He did a bid. He did a little stretch. I think he did about a year. He was signed with Yo Gotti before he went in. The whole CMG thing. We'll get into that later. But let's get into this Brash Dummies, man. Yeah, so I listened to the album front to back. I listened to it a couple times, and it's typical Mozzy, man. It's Mozzy. You know what you're going to get. You can tell by the album title, Brash Dummies, the type of content you was going to get. Now, before I get into the actual musical side of things, let's talk about that title, Brash Dummies. So for me, from the street side, I get it, but from elevating side and wanting to see growth out of Mozzy, I don't get it, because you did a bid, you caught a case, you did your time, you know, you had a baby girl shortly, I think before he went in. I remember seeing on his Instagram, you know, he put a picture of his daughter up and his girl and his family. And I'm like, okay, Mozzy doing big things, you know, he elevating. But to come back out of jail and make a song and make an album called Brash Dummies, it's kind of like, whoa, wait a minute, bro. Like, why would you come out wanting to be a crash dummy or influencing the youth to be crash dummies? I mean, we looking down on crash dummies. Like, no, nigga, don't crash, elevate. I mean, in the hood, the thought process is a little different. In the hood, if you gang banging, you want the crash dummies, right? Because them the ones who keep the hood on the map. Them the ones who putting in all the work. So from that aspect of it, I get it. But again, Mozzy's been in the game for a long time. He's getting up there in age, and I would like to personally see some growth. You know what I'm saying? But again, that might be where he's at. Like, he just went to jail. Lord knows what he experienced in there, in prison. So that might have been on his mind the whole time he was in there when he wrote this. If he wrote this in there, that's what I'm assuming. But just based off the title, yeah, I think he should have picked a better title than Brash Dummies. Personally, I want to see elevation or where his mind at, because to me, that's very telling of where his mind is at. And someone who is in the position that he's in, being on the upper echelon of West Coast MCs, having two beautiful baby girls, a wife, like, you know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be in the mindset of being a crash dummy, especially at this age. Even if you is still in the hood, you should be past the crash dummy stage if you already put your work in. Like, you should be general status at this age. So let's get into the music. It's 12 songs, which is more than most these days. So that's a pretty lengthy album. Most albums these days, you getting 6, 7 songs damn near, 4-song EP. So I like that he got 12 songs on there. As far as the beat selection, they all are kind of similar. It's not like the Mozzy of old. It's very low monotonish kind of vibe. Not, I want to say vibey, but kind of like picture driving in a car in the rain. Like, it give you that feel. It's giving you them vibes. It's not really no turn up songs, no like My Mama Care, or no Blotted Eyes where he just going crazy. You know, the Mozzy of old, he always had them 1 or 2 songs where he up-tempo lyrical exercise or some shit to turn the hood up. Like, you could, you know what I'm saying? This is more like, it felt like a therapy session to me. It felt like he was releasing some demons and releasing some stresses he had, and it sounded like he was getting a lot of shit off his chest. It wasn't an album that we typically get from Mozzy. He usually got uppers and downers. Not to say that this album was a downer, but the vibe of the album kind of was just, it was just steady. It was the same. Like I said, it felt like a therapy session. Now, one of my favorite songs on the album, what's the name of that song? Pass the Rifle. Crazy. Pass the Rifle go crazy. As usual, he had Celly Rue on there. You already know. He had Mozzy on there. He had Lil Dallas on there. Shout out to Lil Dallas. Now, one feature I was looking for that I didn't see was Lil Nick, 100 Shot Soul Tez. I know he's in jail. I know he's in prison. And I know it's probably hard to get him on a verse, but he done put out some shit, and he done put out some shit recently. So, and I fuck with Lil Nick. I'm a supporter of Lil Nick music. Like, that nigga say some of the craziest shit. And if you from the streets, if you from the essence of this shit or where all this shit started as far as gangbang and all that, you gonna get the chills every verse. It's like the shit he say, you know you had to live it. So I'm still waiting on that Mozzy and Lil Nick song. You know what I'm saying? Seeing as they came up together, they was fighting neck and neck for who the best at Oak Park over there. And you know, along the way of his career, they was bumping heads. I don't know of what. They both have spoke on it in songs. Hopefully they got over that. I don't know if they still own that, but I would like to see a Mozzy and Lil Nick 100 Shot Soul Test feature. But the album overall, it's a good album, man. It's a dope album. It's really for the streets. It ain't no backpack nothing. One of my favorite lines on the song was, shit, I'm off the hip. What he say? I'm off the hip with it. I ain't pulling out no man purse. That was one of my favorite lines. It was simple, but it hit so hard in the era of men being feminized. We needed that. Niggas walking around with these man bags and these man purses trying to make it tougher. Like, oh yeah, I got the thing in there. Nigga, that's not tough. It still looks gay. You know what I'm saying? And like, come on, somebody pull up the reaction time of pulling it out of holster versus pulling it out of bag. You're not getting it out that bag, bro. If it's cracking, you got a split second to get to your thing. And you're not getting in that bag, or somebody run up on you and ain't, oh, hold on, man, let me get it out the bag. Then the zipper gets stuck or the zipper break, all that. It's just bad all the way around. It's a fashion statement that I never got with and I never liked. So shout out to Mozzy for that line. I'm off the hip with it. You feel me? Quick draw McGraw. But yeah, it's an overall dope album, man. Like I said, it's more what was that Nip album that he did with Bino? It remind me of that. Damn, what's the name of that damn album? I'm about to look it up. No Pressure. This was like Mozzy's No Pressure. Nip was like in a different zone in that No Pressure album. It had a different feel. This is the feel that this album gave me due to the beat selection. Now, as far as content, it seems like Mozzy has hit his pinnacle of content. You know what you're gonna get from Mozzy. I want to see him dig deeper and get more personal. I mean, even though he does get personal, but like as far as what it's like being a father now, what it was like being a father while being in prison. I didn't really get that on here. That's an experience that I think he should let out lyrically. You know what I'm saying? And just change his range up a little bit, show a little more versatility. We know he from the streets. We know he's certified. We know he goon body embodiment and blah, blah, blah. And we know all that, you feel me? But I just want to see Mozzy try some things, take risks. It seems like Mozzy is more like a safe artist where he's not going to go too much outside of his lane. It could be he can't, but he's an MC. I believe he can. Mozzy's one of the dopest MCs on the West Coast. Top 5 easily right now. And top 5 since he came in, as far as lyrical content, putting that emotion on the beat, is DMX-ish. DMS. I don't even know how the fuck do you say that. It's DMX-like, you know what I'm saying? Where you can feel the pain on the beat. You can feel the emotion on the beat. Mozzy is great at that. Mozzy is great at I don't want to say glorifying, but taking the struggle and making it beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you from it, he take you back there where you can appreciate where you at now. Like, damn, I went through that. Damn, I could relate to that. Damn, that hit hard. You know what I'm saying? He's an expert at doing that. He's one of the best at doing that. But I would like him to show a little more range. Now, I don't think he's going to be doing a song for the females. I really don't want to hear Mozzy rapping about the females, but I definitely would have liked to hear a little switch up with the beat selection, maybe put some more highs on there, some more up-tempo shit. I could really bang in the gym, but it was real soulful. It was a real soulful album. There's a lot of nice, dope samples on the album. Real soulful. Just it hits you right here. So shout out to Mozzy. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we can connect and get him on the show. I done DM'd him before. He didn't look at it, or I know his DM's probably going crazy, but shout out to Mozzy, though. You know, we've been supporting Mozzy. He came to the set. He came to the city doing features with the homies and had homies in his video. I pulled up to the video shoot. I done pulled up to a couple of his shows, so I definitely been a day one supporter since I found out about him, and I'm still supporting to this day. So shout out to Mozzy for still pushing. Cause shit, I found out about Mozzy maybe like 2015, so he damn near 10 years in since I found out about him. I know he been rapping way before that, but since I found out about him, he going on 10 years in, and it's been consistent the whole time. You know what I'm saying? It's very, I don't think I ever heard a whack Mozzy verse. You might have heard a song you didn't like, but I never heard a whack verse. It's like Jada. I never heard a whack verse, a whack Mozzy verse. But one thing I do question and I wonder about is, where is June on the beat? That's one thing I would have liked on this album or on a future album, is Mozzy to connect back with June on the beat, because them two was like Kobe and Shaq, undefeated. Like that was, I felt like that's Mozzy's sound. That was his imprint. Like when you heard that June on the beat, June on the, that's Mozzy, that kick though, that, you know, all that early Mozzy, when he first was coming in, going back and forth with Lav, I feel like he needs that sound back, because it feels like he has not found his sound ever since then. He's been, as far as beat selection, it been a bit kind of iffy. I didn't even really like the whole CMG thing. I felt like he wasn't a good fit over there. But again, he was going to jail. I think he said he got a nice bag off of that, and him signing that deal kept his family situated while he was away, which was why he really did it. I feel like if he went to jail, he probably wouldn't have did it, because on his independent grind, he was killing. And again, he didn't really fit in with Yo Gotti and who else they had over there? Moneybag Yo. It's just it wasn't a fit. It was kind of like you ever had a puzzle as a kid, and then you had a piece from another puzzle, and it fit this puzzle, but it doesn't go. So the picture is not fully made up, even though the piece fits. That's kind of like what that was. Like he was a piece of the puzzle that fit, but it didn't look right in the picture. So I want to see Mozzy get back with some of his day ones, like June on the beat. You know what I'm saying? And get that I don't want to say old Mozzy feel, but that Mozzy feel, that Mozzy shit. So yeah, shout out to Mozzy. Shout out the whole Mozzy camp. Shout out to Selly Rue. Shout out to everybody over there. Shout out to Lil Dallas, you feel me? Still waiting on the Lil Dallas project. I think he has dropped, but I want to see him drop again. I want to see him be more consistent, because I was fucking with Dallas the whole time he was in jail. Like I said, him and Lil Nick, I fuck with them heavy. You feel me? So hopefully they could reach out to 100 Shot Soltez and shit. Get another album out, man. That Hyena shit go crazy. That's my gym playlist right there for sure. But yeah, shout out the whole Mozzy camp, man. Y'all share, like, and subscribe to the channel, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We here now, the viral way. Bang.